This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie skies are wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas, deep in the heart of Texas.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to King of the Hill podcast.
Wah.
I am Mike.
And I am still rusty.
He is still Rusty. Rusty, King of the Hill,
Rusty.
Season 9, Episode 2, Mrs. Wakefield.
Mrs. Wakefield, a very dark, probably one of the more dark episodes, I think. I think this one's kind of macabre.
Fairly dark, but I do enjoy it. I think it's a...
No, I enjoy it. I think it's a good one. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's dark and funny at the same time.
I love the fact that Hank is seen as like the most terrible person on the planet because he keeps trying to get this lady to keep from dying in his house.
It's a weird one. It's definitely a weird episode.
All right, we've got no actual episode number because you know how normally it'll say like S296 or whatever, right? So there's nothing there for us this time. This did air. Oh, I think I got that wrong.
Oh, the air date? Oh, yeah. No, the
14th?
air date for this one was, I think it was November the 14th.
Okay. That would have been a week away from the last one.
No, sorry. December the 19th.
Oh, wow. They took like a 2-3 week hiatus or whatever.
Well, they have gaps. Remember, it's a shorter season, so I think in season 9, due to it being a shorter season, it's just a weird layout of how they end up doing it all.
This is when Fox is trying to kill the show.
Well, because after this, the next episode isn't until January. So
it says
19th, I think. Yeah, so Death Buys a Timeshare is the next episode, and it didn't air until a month later.
Okay. During the Christmas season, a dying elderly woman wants to spend her final days in the Hills house, which used to be hers. Have you ever visited a house that you used to live in like that?
No, never visited a house like that. No,
I think I've done that one time, but I can't remember where it was and why I did it. But I don't have a ton of interest in doing that.
No, when I went to England, I drove past and like stopped in the road for a second in front of the childhood home that I grew up in, but I didn't like hop out and knock on the door and be like, "Hey guys, I'm just a random dude off the street. I lived in this house as a child. Can I peruse? Can I walk through? Can I reminisce? Can I touch the walls one last time?" But no, I didn't do that. But would I be interested in doing that if I knew the house was like realty empty, where I could call like a realtor and be like, "Hey, is it cool if I check this house out?" If I was in England, if I happened to be in England again and I did look up the house and it was empty and free like that, I might do something like that. But am I just gonna seek it out real in depth and knock on the door and bug some other human being? No, probably not.
Every once in a while, I'll drive by. So where I grew up, we were on one street. My grandparents were on the next street, and then the first house I bought as an adult was on the other street. Like so,
and what's funny is that my great aunt owned a house on one of those streets that you're talking about, and then when she passed away, she left the house to my grandmother. My grandmother spent like her final years on that street.
Yeah.
So my uncles were on that street as young men in their early 20s, raising hell on that street.
Every once in a while I'll drive by there just to see what the house looks like. But I don't think I would ever stop.
I've done that.
I don't think I'd ever stop and just be like, "Hey, can I come in and look at your house? Because I used to live here." I mean, weird.
The first house that we lived in the United States was actually just down the street from where I grew up, the house that we ended up growing up in.
Yeah.
So, just naturally as a kid, I had a friend who lived at the end of the road that I grew up on and everything. So it was just like there was still like a lot of people that I knew in my sphere, so that was near it. So I would ride by it or drive by it
And there's a lot of
sometimes. I've done
memories,
that.
there's memories that come up, but
Yeah,
not
yeah,
enough
yeah.
to where I'm gonna be like, "Hey, let me in your house."
Nah, 'cause
It's just
the
weird.
first house that we moved into in the United States was, I don't know if you remember or not, but back in the day when Jim Walter sold homes,
Oh, yeah.
you could buy fully built houses ready to go, and it was just a fully done house, or you could buy like a half built house and finish it out yourself.
Sure.
So the first house that we lived in was one of those homes that was like a part of the way done. The whole outside is like done, and you have to finish out a lot of the inside stuff. And my dad, that was the first house they got, and I think my dad just got tired of having to constantly just be working on it, so he ended up moving out of that house. But that's the first house, so it wouldn't even look anything like what I remember it as because it was a construction zone
Yeah,
for
my house,
but it was definitely under repair.
my house that I grew up in, they've done a beautiful job, but you can tell it's an older couple that owns it. It's
Yeah, it's an older
lots of
neighborhood.
flowers outside, things like that, and it's really nice. They did a
Yeah.
great job. Whenever hang on, I'm trying to do too many things at once. Whenever
No, you're
they,
good.
whenever we were, or whenever I was growing up, um, my house was two different colors. So at one point, my this is an old house. So you're looking at like a World War II type build, after World War II type build in the 50s, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a 3 bedroom, 2 bath kind of thing, or 2.5 bath, or whatever. And so, a standard single family dwelling,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
and I remember us having a huge backyard and lots and lots of memories in that house. I just don't know that I would ever get to the point where I would knock on their door. But my house was
No.
was I remember it in 3 states. Okay, one, it was a wooden out exterior with brick about halfway down, and then my dad bought metal siding to go on the house. Then all of
Okay.
a sudden, at the time when the house was wood and brick, it was like a dark gray, right? And then when we put the siding on, I remember the siding being um, very yellow. My mother loves sunflowers, and so the whole house was that color all of a sudden. And then at one point, my dad takes the metal siding and paints it brown. And so
Okay.
those are my 3 phases of childhood: gray, yellow, brown. So there you
I
go.
did find the production code for this episode.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Whoever edits our where we get our stuff from didn't add it on there, but it's on other. I got it from somewhere else.
Okay,
So it's 9ABE05.
okay.
And I don't know if we said a season or the episode for episode one. Episode one was ABE or 8ABE22. So this is the first
It's at the end of the
nine
season.
ABE05. So this is like the first production code for season 9. Yeah.
Well, and they moved this one up because it being close to Christmas and probably the scheduling of other
Yeah.
shows and things. And this is a bottle episode. It has nothing to do with anything else. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah. Yeah.
ongoing story or anything. There's nobody moving
No,
around or anything.
nothing.
It's just
I
a
got two
single person.
things I wanted to address before we
Yeah,
got started, though. So
go for it.
I want to talk about the voice actor that's in this one. So we don't have a
Okay.
lot of voices in this episode, but this one I think is kind of cool because she plays famous grandmothers and mothers and things like that
Yeah.
throughout TV history. She's known for Happy Days is what
Yep.
she's really known for. That
Yes,
was
I
like the
see.
first thing that she's known for. It was like she was in some movies in the 50s and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
but like for TV, like her known was that. And then it was for Brooklyn Bridges. Is that the name of the show? I don't want to say that and be wrong, but it's something like uh Brooklyn Bridges. I don't know. It was a TV
Brooklyn
show in the
Bridges.
90s.
I don't
Yeah, it
know.
was a TV show in the 90s.
She was like a
What was it
mom on
called?
there, or what?
Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, it's called Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay.
Well, it was about a Jewish American family living in Brooklyn in the mid '50s. So it was a
Mm.
'90s show, but it was based in the mid '50s. She actually got the show actually won a Golden Globe and stuff like that. She was the main cast member in it. I think she was like the
Oh, wow.
mother or the matriarch. But what I know Marion Ross for is she was the grandmother and the great grandmother of the mother and daughter on Gilmore Girls.
Oh,
She's
shoot, you're
Lorelai.
right. Yeah.
She's Lorelai. She's the where the name Lorelai comes from because of course the
Yeah.
the young Lorelai was named after her great grandmother who's still alive.
I had
Uh,
forgotten all about that, Rusty.
yeah.
It's a
She
great show.
also played. That is a very good show, actually. It's fast, very
Melissa
fast show.
McCarthy. First time you've ever seen Melissa McCarthy is in that show.
I forgot that she was in that.
And she's not wacky,
and then
no,
she's not.
like
She's just
slapstick wacky.
she's straight. Yeah, she plays
Yeah.
a pretty straight
Yeah.
role in there. She plays Balula Carey, Drew Carey's mother in the Drew Carey Show, which is also actually Drew Carey's mother's real name was Balula.
Good
But
Lord,
she
I didn't
played
remember
Drew
that either.
Carey's mother. She played Red Foreman's mother,
Holy crap.
and she also was the voice of SpongeBob's grandmother. So she played some famous grandmothers and
You
mothers.
got SpongeBob, Happy Days, that 70s show, and what was the other one?
Yeah. Gilmore Girls, Drew Carey,
Gilmore
the 70s
Girls,
show,
Drew
and
Carey.
SpongeBob.
Good
She
Lord.
was also for the older stuff, the Glenn Miller Story, Teacher's Pet, Operation Petticoat, The Lone Ranger. She actually had a 2-episode appearance on Touched by an Angel, which she got a Emmy
see that.
nomination for.
Yeah, I can see that.
She was on Tears of Endearment, The Evening
Wow.
Star. She got a Golden Globe for. But again, yeah, she was also on Brothers and Sisters as well.
Ghetto
And
Cowboy says he hates this episode.
yeah, I mean, I could see where it could be a hated episode. I don't really mind it too much, but just the second thing that I wanted to address real quick, rest in peace to Kyle Busch and shout out to his
Yeah.
family and stuff. 41 is too young to lose your life
Absolutely.
over pneumonia, because that's what it ended up being. It was pneumonia, and it was sepsis from the pneumonia. The infection spread to his rest of his body or whatever. So generally pneumonia getting out of control like that is I'm not saying that Kyle Busch did this, but I'm just saying I know as men sometimes we it's a little twinge or something like that, we chalk it up to being nothing, but don't take that as nothing. If you have something going wrong with you or something that's not normal, I would go get it checked. Maybe that might have what happened to Kyle. Maybe he was sick and he didn't get it checked in time, and maybe that's how it spread so fast. But I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that. But just know that you need to go get yourself checked when you can, guys and gals and everybody else. Just always take care of your health first. And again, rest in peace to Kyle Busch. If you don't know who Kyle Busch is, for the audience that don't know, he's probably one of the best NASCAR drivers ever. He's one of the most winningest over all 3 NASCAR series in all 3 of the racing series. And he just loved to race. The guy's just pure racer. He's it's hard now it's going to be harder for some of the older fans of NASCAR to watch NASCAR, because he was like one of the last older guys in there and that raced as hard as he did and raced the way like old NASCAR used to be before they neutered it. And so yeah, just wanted
They've
to
neutered
NASCAR.
What does that mean?
The cars used to be 700 plus horsepower. Now they're like 500. Like they've neutered the cars. It's not. Yeah, and then you used to race a whole race. A lot of them, the older guys complain about the stages because now NASCAR is split up into 3 stages. So you don't have this 500 lap race where you have to have all this strategy. Now it's just race. All they're doing is just racing all the way to the stage and not racing to the race. So now they're racing for stage 1, 2, 3 instead of racing for the whole race. It's like it changes the whole strategy of how you race. So I don't know, it changes like the end game, like at the end of each stage, everybody's fighting and crashing out trying to get to the, because you could win 2 stages and it's points based, so you get points for each stage, whether you win the race or not. So if I
Yeah.
win the first 2 stages, I still get points for winning those stages or whatever. But everybody wants to win the race. It just
By
changes
the
the dynamic of the entire race, I think.
By the way, happy Memorial Day, because this will be coming out on Memorial Day. I want to thank every one of the service members that I know. My dad was in the service. My buddy Melvin was in the service. I think you've got some folks that were in the service,
Yeah.
Rusty.
I
And
actually have a famous war hero that's a relative. It was actually my uncle's first, or not my uncle, sorry, my grandpa's first cousin.
okay.
He was a famous World War One hero. Yeah.
I know if you trace us back, we get back to Stonewall Jackson. I don't think that that's a great comparison at this point, but
I
don't know.
A war hero is a war hero in whatever
Everybody
context,
was
I
terrible.
guess.
So, okay, but anyway, happy Memorial Days, or happy Memorial Day to you guys and men and women
And
that
Cotton,
have
yeah,
fought.
shout out to Cotton Hill
Shout out to Cotton and
killing-
his lost
for
shins.
killing
Yep.
Fitty Man. Rest in peace,
He
Cotton
killed
Hill.
Fitty. That's right, says Ghetto. All right, here we go. So we start off in the alley with all 4 of them. Now, we know this is around Christmas time because they've got wreaths and some like tinsel and
Yeah,
things
it's
hanging on the
definitely
back
Christmas.
fence. You've got a maroon sweater on Hank, which weird spotting there. Bill,
He wears a couple of sweaters.
yeah,
The promotional art for this show actually has him in a green sweater with
Yeah.
like a blue present handed to Miss
Yeah.
Wakefield.
I can see that. Bill is wearing a yellow sweater. Boomhauer is wearing like a 3-button, almost like a long john top, but a little nicer. And then Dale has a what is basically a green polo shirt, but it's long sleeve and it's got like the rubber buttons in the middle, almost
Yeah.
like one of those rugby shirts or whatever. He's got that, and he's got it all tucked into his pants, which I thought was just lovely.
Yeah, I got a tidbit of trivia. So this is actually the last Christmas special ever for King
Really?
Hill.
Oh, I did not know that.
Unless they do one, in this next next run or whatever. This is actually the final.
I can't imagine they would though, in the way that they drop these things now.
Maybe a hint of Christmas, but I don't think you'll get unless they do. So that's the thing is like they did with Trailer Park Boys. You had the show, but then you had a movie, and then you had Christmas specials and stuff like that. Maybe they do a Christmas special one of these days. Maybe. I don't see it happening, but maybe.
I see them doing a movie before they do that. All right, so that would be very interesting. So they are all 4 in the alley. They're standing there. You can feel like they're in the Christmas spirit. Dale also has a Christmas hat on, which is basically just a one of the what do you call it? The Santa hats over the top of his baseball cap.
Baseball cap, yeah.
Yeah. Hank says, no, I'm not going to mention any names, but due to last year's unfortunate kissing incident, mistletoe is banned from this year's Christmas party. And he gives side eye to, of course, Bill. Bill says, peppermint schnapps makes me sloppy, which I would imagine it does, Bill. I would imagine peppermint schnapps does.
It definitely does.
Dale says, enough with your party, Hank. Help me figure out what to get Nancy for Christmas. I'll never top that oil painting I commissioned last year. Nude Dale in repose. Tasteful, yet you can see everything. Arlen Cab Company cab pulls up, and the taxi driver says, here we are, lady, 123 Rainy Street. It always reminds me too, by the way, he's at 123 Rainy Street. My address growing up was 123 Meadowbrook. So,
there you go.
Yeah, that always reminds me of that. She starts getting out. It's an old lady with a walker. She kind of grunts as she gets up. She goes, well, thank you, old young man. This is it. That's her, all right. And starts looking at the house. Hank says, excuse me, ma'am. My name is Hank Hill, and I own this house. Is there something I can help you with? She says, I'm Ruby Wakefield, and I used to live here many years ago with my twin sister. My word, look at how big that tree has gotten. I planted that thing when it was a sapling. He goes, oh, I give that tree a deep root feeding twice a year. And then we see Bobby and Peggy come out of the house. Bobby's got his antlers and his little reindeer nose on. And you hear Peggy say, Hank, I got your antlers. And he says to Mrs. Wakefield, "Well, that's my family. We're going to go harvest a Christmas tree." She goes, "Oh, they look lovely. I appreciate you taking such good care of the house. It means a lot to me." He goes, "Hey, Mrs. Wakefield, if you're in town tomorrow," she's getting back into the taxi. "If you're in town tomorrow, why don't you come back for dinner? I'll give you the indoor tour. Kitchen sink now has a garbage disposal." That's a big one, Hank. That's a big one.
That
Make sure
is
you
a
point
big
that
one.
out. She
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, I'd like that, Mr. Hill." She gets in the taxi and she drives off. And the Bill is like a non sequitur on legs. He just goes, "So, she's a twin." That's it. I don't know if he's looking to date her sister or what,
I don't
but
know.
all right. Now we're at the Christmas tree place. Bobby and Peggy and Hank, and Bobby's on the ground and he's trying to saw the Christmas tree down. He's having a real hard time. And Peggy and Hank are talking. She says, "I still cannot believe you invited that old woman over for dinner, Hank. That's like putting out a saucer of milk for stray cat. One lap, you'll never get rid of her."
Golly, damn,
Well, what kills me about this though is Peggy
that's
is
pretty
actually
wild.
right here. She's she's 100% right here.
She is. It was just a weird, or just a crazy way to put it.
It is a crazy way to put it, though. Yeah. Hank says all she wants to do is take a walk down memory lane. Besides, most seniors are lactose intolerant. Is that true? Are most seniors lactose intolerant, Hank?
I don't think so.
But Bobby's down there trying to saw down that tree. And finally, she goes, "Keep going, Bobby. You're almost there." She goes, "I like old people as almost as anyone should, but you got to be careful as much as anyone should." That is the most crazy caveat when talking about old people to me. She goes, "I like old people as much as anyone should, but you have to be careful." And then she just breaks the tree off because she's strong like horse. And Bobby's like, "Oh, look right
Strong
here."
like horse.
She she goes, "Good work, Bobby." He didn't do anything. The next night we're at the Hill house and it's you can tell it's nighttime because all the Christmas lights are on and everything. And we hear the disposal going very loudly. And he goes, "Oh, listen to that baby hum." And Mrs. Wakefield is standing there. She goes, "I remember dropping a friendship ring down this drain, practically broke off my fingernail getting it back." Okay, here's the only problem I have with this episode. Okay. When she was a girl and had a friendship ring, there's no way they had garbage disposals in their sinks. No friggin' way.
No,
No way.
probably not. No. You got to think if this is set in the 2000s and she's in her 80s,
Yep.
then she would have been
1920s,
born in the
1930s.
further back
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
If she's in her
Yeah.
80s in the 2000s, because my grandma was born in the 20s and she's in her 90s now. So
Yeah.
in the 90s, in the 20s, my grandmother was in her 60s. So if Miss Wakefield's in her 80s, she's born in the early 1900s, very early 1900s.
So let's say 1920 at most, right? And
at the most.
there are no garbage disposals in sinks in
No.
1920. So
Actually, we can
anyway,
just look that up when the
it's
garbage
fine.
disposal
Yeah,
invention.
I bet it's 50s.
Oh wow, never mind. Okay, never mind. I'll have to step back from this. So the first unit to market was 1935.
Oh wow.
The first motorized food grinder was actually invented in 27. So
Well, now
I
that I
guess
think
it's been a while.
Now that I think about it, though, when you watch the Flintstones, they have a garbage disposal. Of course, once they feed it the apple core, it turns to you and goes, "It's a living," but other than that, they've
It's a
got one.
living. That's good. I love that. Yeah. He actually the very first one was called the Incinerator.
Incinerator, yeah, and Incinerator's still a
Yeah.
brand. They still make those.
And it's kind of crazy. So this is some old ass data, but as of 2009, only 6% of homes in the UK and 3% of the homes in Canada had disposal units, while 50% of homes had disposal units in the United States. And the reason that is because in the UK and Canada, most places are forced to recycle food.
Ah.
They have food waste collection and stuff like that. Yeah.
Ghetto Cowboy says, "On that note, I encourage everyone to read The Jungle." Do you know what he's talking about? The Jungle?
I do know what he's talking about. The Jungle is about So it was about meat packing facilities back in the day, and it was like an expose by a guy named Upton
Oh.
Sinclair. And
Oh,
what it was is how dirty and
good
nasty they
pull,
were,
kiddo.
and how disgusting the meat facilities were. And it actually caused the FDA's. I want to say that's why the FDA was created, was because of that, if I'm not mistaken. If not created because of that, uh, it it started regulation for how our
Wow.
food is handled and produced, because it was an unregulated market. So people
Yeah, yeah.
would food was probably more poisonous during that unregulated point than it is now, even though they're pumping it full of more chemicals now, because in that time frame there was no understanding of what they were using. At least they know what the shit that they're putting in our food is going to do to us now. And now there's studies and there's so much data that supports how bad some of the stuff is. Back then there people were just pumping bread full of lead to make it look a certain color, or they would do this or that. There was a lot of dishonesty in our food for a very long time. I'm talking about the beginning of food production in the early
Thank
uh 1000s, you know what I mean? So
thank
like as
God
long
we
as we've
got
had
rid of
food
all
production.
the thank God we got rid of all the doing things and not telling us, because boy, I love the fact that we live in an era where our government is just completely transparent and telling us everything that happens.
Yeah, that's why if you
Yeah.
get Coke from Mexico, it just says water, sugar, color, phosphoric acid, caffeine. But if you get it from America, it's like this, and it's
Oh,
just a
sure.
list
Oh,
full
sure.
of shit.
Well, and I was having a
Not that this
conversation
is
with
any better. It's full of
No, but
sugar.
I was having a conversation with
39
somebody about
grams.
that the other day, because I am trying to eat a little more heart healthy, get rid of some salt, fat, things like that, because the heart stuff runs in my family. If you listen to the last episode, my dad had a triple bypass in the last couple of weeks. My grandfather died of congestive heart failure, and so I just, I don't want to be on that train. And
Yeah, for
so
sure.
my uncle died of a massive heart attack. So I mean, it obviously runs in our family. So now I'm eating a lot of turkey bacon and no
Smart,
salt,
yeah.
no salt. Which, by the way, no salt. It's actually not that bad. It is the potassium part of salt, and it does not. Now, if you just eat it, it tastes like crap. But if you mix it into your food, not super liberally, but a little bit, it will enhance the flavor, and it works. So that's I'm trying real hard with that stuff. But anyway, I don't know why I brought that up, but there you go.
No, no, it's good. No, yeah, no, it's good to longevity is the key.
We're trying. I just want to add another 4.5 minutes.
Well,
All right.
we need you to make it at least to the end of season 16.
You got it. I'll make it till 16 and then I'm dead. All right. So Bobby says, I know how that feels, Mrs. Wakefield. One time at the front door bent my pinky toe backwards and the nail grew back really gross. He goes, leave your shoe on, Bobby. So obviously when Bobby tells the story, he takes his shoe off every time.
Yeah, please
Uh,
don't.
she says, believe it or not, but that's a memory that you'll cherish someday, Bobby. So save up as many as you can. When you're old like me, you'll have riches beyond gold in the world. And Peggy just kind of rolls her eyes, which Peggy is not for any of this shenanigans.
She's
Uh,
not.
she
Peggy's a weirdie.
she goes, "Oh darn! I can't believe we're out of coffee. Oh well, it's getting close to time anyway, huh?" And she goes, "Oh," starts yawning. Lady goes, "Oh, you have such wonderful memories. Now I can't wait." No, I'm sorry. That's Luann. She goes, "Oh, you have such wonderful memories. Now I can't wait to get old and wrinkly and grow a little hump on my
Oh, hump on
back."
my back.
A little hump on my back.
That's funny.
Ms. Wakefield says, "Oh, you're so sweet, dear. Mrs. Hill, it amazes me how much you remind me of my sister. So smart and pretty." And that's the key to Peggy's heart right there, because Peggy goes, "Well, thank you. Oh, look here, a new can of coffee. I'll just brew some up." And she goes, "Oh, coffee sounds nice, dear." Now that we're in the backyard, I'm not sure whose backyard we're in, but we're in
I'm
a
not sure either.
backyard, and it's Dale, Boomhauer, and Bill. Boomhauer is in the hammock, and Boomhauer does not say a word during these little cutaways.
Might be his backyard.
It very well could be. Very well could be. But Dale is still trying to figure out what to get Nancy for Christmas. I got it. What if I seal myself in a crate and have me delivered on Christmas Day to Nancy? Wait, do they have mail on Christmas? Wouldn't be very merry if I died in some distribution center. Bill says, why don't you just take Nancy to a countryside bed and breakfast for a lovely, nice romantic weekend? Nah, I'm not the kind of person who pays $100 to sleep in dirty sheets. I am
That's a
the kind
cheap
of person.
weekend, $100 these days.
That's right. He says,
Yeah.
He goes, I am the kind of person who charges other people to sleep in my dirty sheets. That's it. I'll turn our house into a bed and breakfast. All you need is some potpourri, a few boxes of waffles, and you're in business. Boomhauer just goes, no shaking of the head, no anything, just goes, He goes, don't you naysay me, Boomhauer. Once I find the right hook, this is going to be a gift that keeps on giving. Say nay now, naysayer. And so we go.
That's a good shirt.
Say nay now, naysayer. We go back to Hank's. We're looking at a family picture, and Mrs. Wakefield is looking at that picture of the hills with Luann in it as well. She goes, what a handsome family you have. My favorite line of Peggy's this entire episode. How very observant of you. She says, you have a handsome family. She says, how very observant of you. Bobby says, this is my room.
Catty.
It is very catty. But she opens the door and says, or Bobby opens the door and goes, this is my room. It's chock full of memories for me, like the time I dressed our dog Ladybird in my underwear and pretended that we were Calvin Klein models. And he looks around. That does not land real well. So he goes, this is also where I read my Bible before bed every night. So Mrs. Wakefield says, yes, this room certainly brings back many memories. This is where my sister died. And everybody's just like, oh, gross. Good Lord. What?
Yeah.
And Bobby goes,
there's a crazy story.
Yeah.
I might have told this story before on here, actually. So my friend, my childhood friend growing up, his aunt and uncle lived on this resort in, it's called Hilltop Lakes. It's out by Bryan College Station. It's like a little resort town.
Right.
And the house that they lived in was actually the scene of a murder homicide, and somebody had died, and they had killed the dogs and like put them in the bathtub, and then like somebody died and like they killed somebody in like the back bedroom, and somebody died in the front bedroom, and then somebody hung themselves from the top beam, because it's like a older style like cabin like house. It had like a big beam that ran across where the couch was and stuff like that. So somebody had been killed in like every room, or themselves in every room of the house pretty much. And I didn't know that, I'd stayed the night over there a few times before as a kid growing up, and then like I was like 13 or 14 or 15, I was like 15 or 16, I think, when they had told me, because I remember going down their backyard, pretty much in every room, in every bedroom, because it was a man, kids, and dogs, and he had killed the kids, his wife, himself, and the dogs. So it was like every bedroom somebody had died in, and then in the bathroom he had did the dogs, and then himself in the living room and stuff like that. So it was wild. Yeah, it was a wild
Why are you
story.
killing the dogs? Are you afraid the dogs are going to eat you or something afterwards, or what?
I don't know. This is crazy. Yeah.
That is weird. Okay, so everybody says gross. He says, your sister died in my room. She goes, well, actually, she had a massive heart attack in here. Somehow she managed to crawl down the hallway to about right over there. I don't know how she dragged herself with her arthritic fingers. She couldn't even open a jar of apple butter. Everybody is super fucking grossed out. And she goes, oh, you have to forgive me, but I think I need to sit for a moment and rest. So they take her into the living room. They sit her in one of the green chairs, and she falls asleep. Apparently it's been about an hour or so. Hank says, she's been asleep for over an hour. I guess I better wake her up and send her on her way. He goes over there. He goes, Mrs. Wakefield, Mrs. Wakefield, Mrs. Wake. And then Peggy, like, she starts clapping, like get up, old lady. She wakes up. She goes, oh, what's going on? Oh, I'm still here. He goes, yeah, you dozed off for a bit, and it's getting kind of late. I'm sure you're ready to head on home. She goes, yes, I am ready. She means something completely different than what Hank means.
Absolutely.
She wants to die right there.
She wants to die in his house for whatever weird reason she would want to do that.
So she just continues to sit there, and then we hear, Mrs. Wakefield, are you okay? She goes, huh? The happiest times of my life were spent here in this house. That's why there's no place else in the world that I would rather end my days. Hank says, end your days? She goes, yes, I want to die here. I promise not to be a nuisance. And that takes us to our first commercial break. We will take that, and we will be
right back.
He did it.
Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass, water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today.
Discover the world of luxury sex toys at Luxury Toy X and indulge in the ultimate pleasure experience. For years, we have been dedicated to the belief that sexuality and wellness are essential components of a happy and healthy life. With over 70,000 satisfied customers, we take pride in our ability to provide products that enhance your sexual well-being. Join our community of satisfied customers and unlock a world of pleasure and self-discovery. Visit luxurytoyx.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Baby girl, were you staring at me? You know that's not convincing, right? Try again. Well, you shouldn't just be staring then. You should taste.
I'd miss your presence, your laughter.
He says taste. He says taste at the end of that ad. I don't like that.
Yeah, it did. I don't like that either. I actually had 2 bits of trivia that
go for it.
I got to add in. So this theme song actually opens credits with jingle bells. You can hear bells jingling in the background. And there's 2 songs in this that are played too. Willie Nelson's Frosty the Snowman and Bobby Helms' Jingle Bell Rock are also in this song, in this episode. Okay, so there's actually something unique about this actual episode's airing. It is the first one in the season 9 production code. So this would be the first episode to air after the premiere of The Office, which Greg Daniels would have then had not much to do with the creation of anything with the season 9 production code. So a lot of people don't like this episode, and Ghetto Cowboy might be able to attest to this. A lot of people don't like this episode because the characters feel off. There feels something a little different. Hank, I think it's hard to, he's like the main figure of the show, so I feel like it's hard to stray away from him. But I feel like once Greg Daniels removes himself a little bit from the show, I feel like you could see a difference in the characters a little bit in how they are. And I think that might be why people think it's uncanny, is because people feel a little different than what it is now that Greg Daniels is no longer involved heavily at this point, because this is around the time where The Office was big. After it premiered, it went super viral for that era after it aired. So it was a big thing.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. Yeah, I didn't really. I never made that connection.
Yeah, I didn't either. While we were sitting here, I was thinking, and I looked up some stuff I needed to find out for, and sure enough,
that's good to know, though. It's good to know.
And there was something else too. The last episode had the first episode of this season. The last episode that we did actually had Henry Winkler. So Henry Winkler and Mary Ross, 2 Happy Days alumni back to back.
Hadn't thought about that. Yeah, good point. All right, so we're still under the shock that Mrs. Wakefield has told us that she wants to die in Hank's house. Says, Mrs. Wakefield, you can't die in my house. You're really not being a good guest, ma'am. I mean, that's a good quote.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Peggy says, I called you a taxi. It's the least we can do, but it's all we're gonna do. She goes, but it's important to me to die where I was happiest. Don't you want me to be happy? He goes, not that way. She goes, okay, I guess it's your house. I'll just get my shawl. She stands up and gets the walker, and then she moves real fast.
Yeah.
She moves real fast behind the Christmas tree. And he goes, oh, great. She went behind the tree. It's like they have a squirrel in her house now or something.
Yeah.
Peggy goes, oh, we don't decorate back there. She goes, Mrs. Wakefield, please. She goes, I promise not to drag this out. I bet I won't take more than 2 days, at most 3. And again, referencing the fact that she'll take 2 to 3 days to die. And so Peggy picks up a wrapped present, and you can tell it's a golf club, because it's the shape of a golf club. And she goes, you keep her busy. I'll sneak up from behind and poke her with this driver. He goes, hey, you got me that driver I wanted? She goes, she's headed for the bathroom. He goes, oh, dang it. Because you can see her kind of sneak behind them as they're talking.
Yeah.
She opens up the bathroom door, and we just hear Bobby go, hey, I'm in here. Hank says, Mrs. Wakefield, you need to leave. We hear a honk outside. Peggy says, hey, Hank, taxi's here. So now we're back at the hammock with the boys, and Dale says, I cannot believe it's hard to think about the bed and breakfast theme. Bill says, how about an evening at the Improv? Terrible. And he goes, great idea. I know, crap idea. After he looks at Boomhauer, who does nothing, he's just like, oh, Boomhauer doesn't approve. He goes, dang it, Boomhauer, aren't you ever wrong? And then they see that what is happening over at Hank's house. Hank has her in a dead man's carry, like he's carrying her over his shoulder out to the taxi.
Well, he's perturbed at this point. He's getting upset.
Well, he's kind of right to do it, honestly. I mean, I think I would have done
a weird thing to ask somebody. If you're not living in that house no more, you can't just go to somebody. Can I die in your house?
I would have done this. I think I would have done the same things.
I would have already called the police at this point. I think Hank is actually being kind of graceful with it. I would not have been as graceful as him.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We got so he's trying to take her outside. He's got her in a taxi, or he's trying to get her into the taxi. He's got her in a dead man's carry, and she goes, please don't make me leave. I promise I won't be any trouble. He goes, stop pinching me, Mr. Wakefield. And then of course Con's outside at the most opportune moments. Finally Hank come to his senses, and oh, wait a minute, that's not Peggy. So he thought he was dead man carrying Peggy to the taxi to get rid of her. And then of course the whole crowd has come up now, and you hear Dale's wife, she's like, you picking on that old lady, Shug? He goes, I'm not picking on her. She wants to die in my house. And then from behind the taxi, behind the window of the taxi, she's just like tapping, please show me some compassion, please. And he says, and he just taps on the car. It drives off. He turns around and looks at everybody else. Everybody's all pissed off. And so all of a sudden, Hank is the bad guy because he doesn't want this old lady to die in his house. Now we're back in the alley with all 4 of the guys, and you can tell that the other 3 are kind of standing away from Hank because they're still pissed off at him for dead man carrying an old lady.
Yeah, why they be so mad at him? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. The guy has every right.
None of these guys would want that to happen in their house, with the exception of Dale, and it's only because he wants to make a buck off of it. He goes, we ate, we laughed, we had some coffee, and then she told us she wanted to die in my house and ruin the whole goddamn evening. Dale says, so basically this old woman told you she wanted to die in your house, no strings attached? Yep. I've got it. The theme is a haunted bed and breakfast. Hauntings are all the rage now. Haunted hotel rooms, haunted cruises. If I can get that crone to agree to die in my house and haunt the place, we'd be booked year round. What do you say now, Boomhauer? he goes, "What the heck are you talking about, Dale? Nancy's Christmas present." He gets on his knees in front of Hank and goes, "Oh, please, Hank, let Mrs. Wakefield die in my house, please, please, please."
That's so weird.
Hank says, "Has everyone gone crazy? It's Christmas, for God's sakes. No one's dying in my house or your house, Dale." And then he walks off. Hank leaves. Bill turns to Boomhauer and says, "I'll probably die in my house, wedged between the bathroom door, inaccessible to the paramedics. Well, what can you do? I mean, that's
Yeah, what can you do? That's such a crazy. That would actually be a good shirt. So it would be.
That is a great shirt.
It would be.
What can you do?
It would be it would be a fat skeleton behind, and like. You would have to obviously skeletons aren't fat, but you would make a fat skeleton just
Sure.
for the fun of it. But then it
Sure.
would just be a fat skeleton with it, like the door stuck, and then like an EMS guy trying to like open the door.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, and just with knowing that it's Bill Dauterive, I think would be great. Let's see. Hang on one second. Create a picture of a fat skeleton. I'm typing this into my friend ChatGPT here, and we'll see what they come up with here in just a second. Okay, so everybody's going insane because either you want her to die in your house or you don't want her to die in your house. Now we're inside, and they are putting up some Christmas decorations. Not sure why they're still putting up Christmas decorations, because it's it looks to me like it's totally Christmas. I guess it's for the party, and they've had to put some more stuff inside. Hang on one second. Call right back. Sorry, my father is calling me, and I'm not real sure why. So I don't think he has another heart that he's screwed up. So I don't think it's that. Okay. So they're inside putting up some more Christmas decorations, and he goes, "I can't believe that I'm feeling guilty about denying Mrs. Wakefield's request." And Peggy says, "Well, what does she expect us to do, Bobby? I don't know how a giraffe got in the nativity scene, but I like it. Let's go find a zebra." The doorbell rings. He goes to the door. "Mrs. Wakefield, what are you doing here?" "I just wanted to apologize for causing such a scene the other night. I hope you're not angry with me. Merry Christmas, Mr. Hill." He goes, "Oh, well, okay. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Mrs. Wakefield." She goes, "I drank a lot of iced tea earlier. Could I use your bathroom?" He goes, "Oh, sure thing. It's right down the hall on the." "Oh, wait a minute. I know what you're trying to do. You don't need to use the bathroom. You just want to die in there, don't you?"
That's crazy.
You don't want to use the bathroom. You just want to die in there. And she says, "I promise I won't take long to die in your bathroom," apparently. She goes, he's carrying her out front, like he just picks her up, her and her walker and the whole thing, and just picks her up and carries her out front. She turns around, tries to get back in. She goes, "If I hold my breath for 10 seconds, I bet I'll slip away just like that." Which, just the absurdity of the way that she speaks about dying in his house is just it's fantastic to me. He kicks her walker out because she's trying to jam it in the door. He finally kicks the little wheel out, and she kicks at the door. Dale comes up behind her and he goes, "I have a proposition for you and a plate of pitted prunes." So the next scene we see, she is in Dale's basement. She has a bowl or a plate of pitted prunes in her lap, and she goes, Dale has a presentation up there, a pie chart and the whole thing, and he's got a pointer and he's telling her why
he's got to sell the idea of dying in his house.
That's right. He goes, "So why die here, you ask? Well, you'd be getting it on the ground floor of a wonderful investment opportunity, and all you'd really have to do is make
ground floor.
All you'd really have to do is make 2 appearances a day from the afterlife via this old antique mirror." And he shows her like a big mirror. He goes, "It's not hard work, but I do expect quality. Are there any questions?" She goes, "Can I go now?" He goes, "What? So you can go over and die at Hank's house? I could get you a dead little lapdog to keep you company." She just kind of shuffles away. He goes, "A shuffle alone would pack the place." Like he's really upset that this old lady doesn't want to die in his house instead of Hank's house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So now we're back at the Hill house. Bobby's watching TV, and his parents are starting to leave. He goes, "I still don't see why I can't come to the mall with you guys." Peggy says, "Because we're shopping for you, and you peak." Hank says, "Your mother's right. Besides, somebody should stay here, in case an old lady tries to." "Bobby, just keep the doors locked." So they leave. Bobby seems a little worried about the fact that this old lady's going to try to get in and die. And
I would be very
so
worried about it.
I
That's
would
really
too.
kind of creepy. That's just
We got a
insane.
little bit later in the evening, and Bobby's in his room, and he's on the phone. He's on the cordless phone, and you hear him saying, "Dooley's going to pants Santa. Dang, I can't go. Make sure the elves take plenty of pictures." And then you see Mrs. Wakefield pop up in Bobby's window, and he goes, he goes, "Let me in, Bobby. I have a peppermint." And he just
Let me
screams and
in,
runs off.
Bobby. That sounds.
I
Really
have
weird.
a peppermint. All right, so now we're at the mall, and in the background, I just love this payoff here. In the background, you see Dooley being arrested by or taken away by the security guards, and Santa being all pissed off, pulling his pants up. Nothing is said.
Oh, he pantsed Santa.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
see
Just
that in
Dooley
the background. It's just
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, that was excellent. That's an excellent little joke right there. And so they're at the mall, and they're both talking to each other, Hank and Peggy, and he says, "It's reasonable not to want someone to die in your house, right?" She goes, "Mm-hmm. We cannot open that door. I mean, if Bill gets wind." And then up pops John Redcorn, who's there at the mall shopping. He's holding some bags. He goes, "Hank, I understand an elder wishes to use your home as an entrance to the spirit world. My people teach that a person must be happy at death, or they are destined to walk through eternity on their hands. So the frown appears to be upside down." Oh, food for thought. And he just walks off. Like he just food for thought. We hear Hank's phone ring. He picks it up. He goes, "Hank Hill." And then you hear Bobby through the phone, "She's on the roof." So we go back to the hills.
Wild.
Yeah, we go back to the Hills house. We see Bobby is hiding behind the Christmas tree. He finally peeks his head out when he knows it's his mom and dad. And he goes, "Mrs. Wakefield shoved her arm through the mail slot and tried to unlock the door. She's been scratching at all the windows." And so Hank runs outside and he's like, "Mrs. Wakefield, show yourself. Mrs. Wakefield." She finally comes ambling from around the side of the house. He goes, "Dang it, Mrs. Wakefield, I have had it with you. You got my boy hiding under the tree. You got all my friends mad at me. I'm sorry, but you've left me no choice." He gets his phone out and he calls the cops. Cops come up. This is what he should have done 2 days ago. But
he should have did that. Yeah, like minutes after he found out she was not going to leave his house.
No kidding. So the cops show up and we realize the entire neighborhood's out there watching him, including a bunch of people we've never seen before. And he goes, "Oh, thank you for being so prompt, officers. There's the trespasser I called you about." And he points at the old lady with the walker on his front steps. And the cop says, "Her? You want us to arrest that poor old woman?" And then you hear Con, "Hank had to call Johnny Law on big bad old lady with walker." And then Hank says, "I didn't want them arrest her. I just want them to take her away so I can get on with Christmas and whatnot." And you hear Bill say, "Well, maybe you could compromise with her." He goes, "Compromise? How do I do that? Let her die on my sidewalk?" Bill goes, "I'm just saying." He goes, "You're not saying anything." Bill says, "Still." He goes, if she were trying to break into your homes and die, you'd do the same thing. I'll tell you what." And then from the inside of the cop car, you hear, "What have I done wrong?" And the cop goes, "Absolutely nothing, ma'am. Absolutely nothing." Hank goes inside, and the entire neighborhood is pissed at Hank now. Like,
Yeah, no, I think the exchange between the cop and Hank was pretty funny.
even
Had
more
to call
so.
Johnny Law, big bad old lady in a walker. That's well, I mean, I think it's funny how condescending everybody is being towards them. Like they wouldn't be just as pissed.
Yeah. This is again, like you and I were talking about. You call the cops on somebody like this.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, so we got all four of them in the alley again. We got Bill, we got Boomhauer, we got Dale, and we got Hank. Hank, again, the guys are kind of standing away from him. He goes, "Peggy's making her special Christmas fudge for the party tomorrow." Yep, sure is going to be a good time. And then Dale, of course, being always the voice of unreason, says, "Yeah, until you call the cops on us." Bill says, "That poor old woman, she committed the crime of loving Hank's house too much. Are we not all guilty?" Peggy comes out and she goes, "Hank, I do not want you to blame yourself, but Mrs. Wakefield died at a bus station the very night you had her arrested and dragged away." Think about that sentence for a second. I don't want you to feel guilty, but you made her die at a bus station is basically what she just said.
That's what she said. Yeah.
There's your shitty Peggy right there. He goes, "What? Good Lord. She was a retired Sunday school teacher. She goes, now, Hank, I don't want you to dwell on the awful things she said to her out of anger. I mean, God almighty, Peggy, just keep piling it on. Everybody is mad. He goes inside. They're all cleaning up after putting food in the disposal after dinner. This is Hank, Peggy, Bobby, and Luann. Bobby says, can't believe she's really gone. It just seems like yesterday she was trying to get her walker through the doggy door. Luann
That's
says,
crazy too. Damn.
Luann says, I wish she were here so I could give her little hump a big hug. Bobby says, are we still going to do our party tonight? It just doesn't feel right. Peggy says, oh, don't be silly, Bobby. Mrs. Wakefield would have wanted it that way. She probably loved parties. And Peggy gets all choked up all of a sudden, even though Peggy's being an ass about all this stuff.
Yeah, she was being an ass about all of it. She was probably the rudest about it.
Then Hank says, now, come on.
Which, again, I don't blame anybody at all.
No, I don't either. I don't like it whenever she piles it on the other people. He says, now, come on, let's get back in the Christmas spirit. Why don't we pick up a little green vest for Lady Bird to wear at the party? That'll cheer everyone up. So they go to the mall and they pick up a green vest and they're coming back. We see them coming back into the house. They go into the sliding door. And as they're walking in, he's like, I hope this fit. Pet Town doesn't have a very generous return policy. And Bobby's like, I still don't understand why a vest is cool, yet Santa hat would be demeaning. Hank's like, if I have to explain it. And then they open the door and they see her walker laying on the ground. One of the wheels is still spinning. It's so fresh, right?
Yeah, it's just rolling.
And everybody's just like, he goes, and you hear Peggy go, Mrs. Wakefield. And that takes us to our second and final commercial break, and we will be
right back.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Okay, this is what ChatGPT thinks a fat skeleton looks like.
All right.
So
a bony belly, but there you go.
It says big bones, big appetite. Yeah, I don't know what bone that is. That's your belly bone, apparently.
Your belly bone's connected to you. Yeah, I mean,
everything.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that is weird. But anyway, there you go. There's your fat skeleton.
There you go. There's your fat skelly.
Okay, so we have just been informed that Mrs. Wakefield is not dead. She is somewhere in the house. So Hanks is like, so
hiatus.
Yeah, she goes, so Mrs. Wakefield isn't dead. Oh my God, she's somewhere in the house. Oh Lord, I hope she isn't dead. And then Bobby goes, run. He goes, no, 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 no. We got to find her. Bobby, you and Luann check the den. Peggy, you check the garage, and I'll check the back of the house. If any of you find her, holler out. Peggy is in the garage with a walker as a weapon, and she's just like looking for her, looking for her, looking for her. And then she's like in the dark, looking. Woof! You hear the bark. She goes, "Oh God! Oh Ladybird, you dumb dog! You almost got your bell wrong. Wait a minute!" And she pulls a tennis ball off the walker and she gives it to Ladybird to sniff. And she goes, "There you go, girl. Come on, get Mrs. Wakefield's scent and track down that old coot. Good girl. Come on, get her for Mama." And then she goes, "No, wait, no, Ladybird, no, we're not playing fetch, no fetch." She goes, "Find the old lady, sniff and find." She just throws the ball, and the dog goes after the ball, and she's like, "Ah, dumb dog." Now we're in the bedroom with Bobby and Luann searching for Mrs. Wakefield, and you hear, "Mrs. Wakefield, if you're under here," as she's looking under the bed, "if you're under here, please don't grab me by my throat and drag me into the gates of hell."
That would be funny. Just a picture of a old hand on Luann's ankle, and then it's like the gates of hell.
Please don't drag me into the gates of hell. Bobby opens the closet, and there's a mirror there. Why there's a mirror in the closet, I don't know. But he opens it up, sees a mirror, and he goes, "Ah!" Screams like a girl. And he goes, "Don't tell Dad." Then we go over to Hank searching in his and hers Peggy's bedroom. And he goes, "Mrs. Wakefield, are you in here? I know we hadn't been on the same page about your dying and all, but I hope we can work out our differences." He sees a wrapper on the ground. He picks it up and he kind of crinkles and he goes, peppermint. And then he opens the closet and he sees her feet underneath some of the coats and stuff. And he goes, "Oh, Mrs. Wakefield, why?" And then he pulls the things back and she's just like, she's with her arms crossed over, pretending to be dead or trying real hard to die. And
she's trying to will herself to die.
She goes,
"Please
give me peace. Why can't you just let me be?" And then Peggy comes running in. She's like, "Mrs. Wakefield, we thought you were dead. We read your obituary." She goes, "I was desperate, so I submitted a fake obituary to get your guard
you hear
down."
him with the whoop. That's crazy.
Hank says, "You lied."
Making an obituary to hide in somebody's house.
Then the doorbell rings. And Hank's like, "Oh, good Lord, the party. Peggy, Bobby, Luann, you take care of the guests while I escort Mrs. Wakefield out the back door. I'll join you in a minute." And he grabs her by the arm. He goes, "Our Christmas has been disrupted by you for the last time, Mrs. Wakefield." Well, and she goes, "Well, if you just let me concentrate, I'll be out of your hair forever." And she just holds her breath. Like that's going to make her die real quick. He goes, and then you just hear jingle bells, all this stuff as he's kind of dragging her away. We go downstairs or not downstairs, but in the family room, and you see, you hear the Frosty the Snowman song playing. And then out comes Peggy. She's holding a plate of cookies, and she talks to John Redcorn. She goes, "Merry Christmas, John Redcorn." I whatever this is, it's still funny. I don't care how
it's hilarious,
insensitive it is. She goes, "Merry Christmas, John Redcorn. I made you some special reindeer-shaped cookies with toothpicks sticking in them like little arrows." It's just funny as hell. He goes, "Quite honestly, Peggy, I was going to boycott your party, but protest Hank's harsh treatment towards our elders. But I found out that Bill is my secret Santa, and he always gives cool gifts." And then Con's right behind him. He goes, "Yeah, Bill really go all out." Then we see Hank trying to pull the old lady out. She's hanging on the doorway. She's grunting and pulling, "Put me down." And then Bill says, "My God, Hank is wrestling with Mrs. Wakefield's ghost." And Dale goes, "What a waste." He goes, "She's not dead. She's very much alive. She falsified her obituary and broke in here. Please just continue with the party. I'll call a taxi and join you in a minute." And she goes, "But I don't want to go." And then Con says, "Let her be, Hank." And then Boomhauer finally speaks up. Dang old Christmas, man." And then he kind of looks back and forth at Peggy. Con says, "Oh, Hank, where is holiday spirit?" He goes, "All right, fine. That's how everybody feels. Mrs. Wakefield, if you want to die in my house, then go ahead." She goes, "Really?" He goes, Merry Christmas. She goes, well, why, thank you. You're not just teasing me, are you? He goes, no, ma'am.
That's just so funny. You're not teasing me. You're not pulling my
that I
leg.
can die here.
Yeah,
He goes, no,
please
ma'am.
die here.
He goes, come on, everybody. It's a party. Let's have some fun. She's talking to Hank. She goes, Mr. Hill, maybe it is a little inappropriate right now. I mean, it is a Christmas party. He goes, yeah, I see what you mean. She goes, maybe I could die another time when you're not entertaining. He goes, sure, but Mrs.
That's
Wakefield,
crazy.
you don't have to come back to die. I mean, you could come back just to visit, maybe join us for a cookout or under the old tree you planted. She goes, oh, that would be nice. Well, I've been enough of a bother. I'll get out of your hair. He goes, oh, don't rush off. Why didn't you stay for Secret Santa? I always get an extra gift just in case my boss stops by. He starts passing
That's
out.
hilarious. He
pregame.
pre-games a deal for him, and he never
just in case.
He
You hear
probably never
Jingle
shows
Bell.
up either.
You hear Jingle Bell Rock playing, and he starts passing out gifts. And he goes, "Oh, hey, this one's for Bill. Could this be the ear and nose trimmer he's really been needing?" And Bill goes, "I hope it's hungry." And he goes, "All right, this one's for Peggy." And we just kind of back off, and we get kind of the slow fade out, and that is it. We hear some
That's a
credits.
wrap.
We see our credits, and we fade out, and then after the credits, we hear Bill say, "Peppermint schnapps makes me sloppy." And that is it.
Schnapps.
That is all for season 9, episode 2, Mrs. Wakefield. Which I don't hate this episode. I thought it was a pretty funny episode. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
No,
Yeah,
it's not a bad one at all. All right, you want to let them know where they can find us if they want more of this?
Yeah, you can find us at bwaaakoth@gmail.com. Please send us an email. We ain't got any in a while. It'd be cool to hear from you guys. Yeah, bwaaakoth on all social media.
That's right. And our friend the Fat Skeleton just has one thing left to say.
Oui, Matanye.
I did not mean that you were the fat skeleton, but bye guys. See you later. Oui, Matanye, indeed.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.